Thank you all for waiting for us. We were having some technical difficulties that I think we just figured out. So I'd love for you to meet Caper President Patty. Patty, it's up for you.
Hi, welcome everyone to Capered's Core Zoom presentations. My name is Patty Supay, and I am proud to be this year's Capered President. Recognizing the overwhelming need of our teachers for professional development in the areas of distance learning for health and physical education, we have reached out to some outstanding educators and presenters to offer a series of free workshops. This is the third of 5 presentations for our week-long tech series and our 5th presentation in the Back to School series. So far, the feedback has been incredible. Remember, you can access these presentations through the Capered YouTube channel. You can check out any of our past presentations through this. We are excited to have another presentation just added to our schedule. This Sunday at 4:30, Amanda Stanek from Nova Scotia, Canada, will be joining us with a webinar that will help teachers plan their first 9 weeks block of teaching virtually or in a hybrid format, utilizing the national standards and the 5 core competencies of social and emotional learning. She is an international icon, and you won't want to miss her or any of the other outstanding presenters in our lineup for the next month. Today, we are continuing our course series with Bailey Sandsmark, titled The Ins and Outs of Canvas. Bailey is a 6th grade physical education teacher in the Poway Unified School District in San Diego. Bailey is the health and safety coordinator for the Penasquitos Girls Softball Association, as well as a coach and a Mount Carmel High School softball coach. Bailey serves as the San Diego regional representative for Capered. She has served as a department chair for the past 2 years, and Bailey is a frequent presenter at district, local, and state conferences, including Capered and the Elementary Physical Education Workshop. Bailey is currently working with the San Diego County Department of Education to develop a virtual learning curriculum. But before I turn this presentation over to Bailey, I want to introduce our Shape America President-elect, Terry Drain. I'm going to give her a minute to share some thoughts and insights with you.
Thank you, Patty. And thank you all for being here and your commitment to your professional practice and to your students. And I also want to give Capered a shout out for providing this core webinar series with professional development that's going to help you all kick off your year strong. Last week, I had the privilege of presenting. My session was called Unleash the Power of Our Why. And in it, I talked about how these are challenging times for our profession. And we're going to have to advocate like never before to make sure physical education remains part of the school curriculum. In my presentation, I talked about how we're going to have to advocate from the bottom up and the top down. And everybody's got a role to play. Your role at the grassroots level is to provide excellent physical education and make sure everybody knows what the goal of physical education is and why it's important. And if you need help with that, I recommend that you watch my presentation. It's on the Capered YouTube page. There's another important job for you too, though, and that's to support your professional organizations. And I'm talking about Capered and Shape America. These 2 organizations advocate for physical education in a way no one else can. They are our voice in Sacramento and on Capitol Hill. And they are working behind the scenes, trying to advocate for physical education and make sure it continues to be part of the curriculum both now and in the post-COVID world. So you can help by being members of Capered and Shape America. So these organizations have the resources they need to represent us well. And just like you belong to CTA, and just like 100% membership is the goal for CTA and NEA, that is our goal also for Capered and Shape America. So if you don't belong, join now and encourage your colleagues to do the same. At $79 and $89, it's a heck of a deal, especially when you think your job might depend on it. Thank you, Patty, for giving me a couple minutes to speak to everybody. I wish you well in your school year, and I hope to see you soon. And over to you, Bailey.
Awesome. Thank you, Patty and Terry. Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited to get to explain the ins and outs of Canvas with you tonight. It is quite an awesome tool for us as educators to be able to deliver our content virtually, and I'm going to be showing with you a lot of things. So if you feel like I might be moving a little fast, or you want to learn more about something, don't worry. this is recorded. It will be on the Capered YouTube channel. You will, if you registered, you will have that link as soon as it's live. Don't feel like you have to keep up with everything right now. You will be able to go back and review and pause. And I also have some amazing resources for you in my slide deck, and I'll give you my slide deck so that you can go back and have some other tools that can help you. And I am going to share my screen and we're going to get going. All right. So here we go. So as I said, we have, oh, that is not what I wanted to do. Wrong button. I have these slides for you. I'm gonna kind of pop in and out between the slides and an actual Canvas course for you to look at. But there's this bit.ly link at the bottom and also a QR code here for you to scan so you can have these slides available to you. And I'll leave this up for about a minute so you can get the code or scan the link. And then my moderators, if you can put the link in the chat for me too, that would be awesome. All right, I'm going to move forward. So I was very well introduced by Patty. I am a very proud Capered member. I've been a member of Capered since I became a teacher. And like Terry said, if you are not a member of Capered or SHAPE, you really, really should be. There's so much that happens behind the scenes that is saving our jobs, and you don't even realize that they're doing it for us. So I just can't emphasize enough to make sure you're a part of Capered and support Capered and SHAPE America, because they save our jobs on probably a daily basis and are working really hard for us. So please be a member. I'm very happy to serve in San Diego, and I look forward to another year helping our San Diego cohort. I've been teaching for 5 years now here in San Diego, and thank you. I just want to say thank you to Capered and APEW for allowing me to do these sessions this summer. Not only have I been able to help my fellow educators, it's helpful for me too to get to practice my presenting skills. So I appreciate it. I am a Google nerd. I love Google. I'm a level 1, level 2 certified educator, and I am working on my Google trainer certification. And I'm also working towards being an MBCT candidate. So a lot going on right now, but I'm proud to spend some time here with you guys tonight. If you want to email me, my email is sandsmarkphysed@gmail.com. And I'm also pretty active on Twitter, so you can tweet me as well. I've already been emailing and doing Zooms with people that attended my EPEW session, so definitely reach out. I am happy to help. Some things we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about what Canvas is. Hopefully, if you're here, you have heard of it, and maybe you might just be brand new to it. We're going to go through it. So I'm going to talk about just starting with Canvas, some best practices that I learned during distance learning, and some of the features. I'm also going to show you my course from the spring, so you can see some of the things that, the way it works kind of. And as promised, here's that resource page. So some great resources for you. Canvas is amazing with the things that they're putting out and helping educators with. So they have a course called Growing with Canvas. That's in the comments, and I'll kind of go into that a little bit more as we move on. But it's a great way to kind of work through and learn and practice how to implement the different features. Canvas's YouTube channel is awesome. They have been hosting webinars all summer long and all COVID long on a lot of the different features, and they can go more depth than I can in my one general hour. They do about an hour on one topic. So definitely check out their YouTube channel. That's a link to it. The Canvas community group, that's a link to it, or there's the website right below. That is an amazing resource. It's like a giant forum. There's more information than you need on there, but it's also great if you're someone who doesn't love going back and watching videos. They have screenshots and step-by-step instructions on how to do things, so definitely utilize that. If you are on Facebook, there are tons of Facebook groups for Canvas. I think I'm in like 5 of them, and there's a lot of information being shared and resources being shared there. Lots of people asking questions. So if you are on Facebook, I recommend searching I think I just joined one yesterday. It was Canvas for physical education teachers. I was like, sweet, specifically for us. This is great. So definitely check that out if you're on there. They're active on Twitter, so there's their handle there. And someone in my district put together basically what I'm giving you today, but in a slide deck, and she has little videos broken down for the specific things, so it's just like a snippet. So I asked her if I could share my slides with you today, and she said I could. So there's a link to her slides as well, give even more information. And the Canvas help is a fantastic resource too. I had some technical difficulties during the spring, and they were very quick to respond and very persistent in trying to get it resolved for me. So some amazing resources. Don't be shy to reach out. So what is Canvas? It is a LMS. So those of you most of you are probably familiar with Google Classroom or maybe Blackboard. It's more like a Blackboard. It's way more robust than Google Classroom. And I am a Google Classroom, Google everything lover, but Canvas is a lifesaver and was a lifesaver during distance learning, just for the organization and the communication that you can do through it. So there's a bunch of features there. I'm not going to read them. So this is just a quick little overview of the main menu that you might see. I'm not going to read through everything. You can come back and look at the slides, but some basics if you're just getting started, some things you need to know. Don't forget to publish your page. This is one of the most common things that teachers will create a page and they're like, I can't see it. The kids can't see it. What's happening? You have to publish it, which is kind of also a nice feature. You can create things and not publish them so that students can't see them until you want them to be able to see them. Keep things simple. It is very easy to get carried away if you are in those Facebook groups to see some really awesome things that teachers are doing, and that's great. But if you're new, just start simple, start slow. I've been using Canvas for 5 years, and I'm sure if I were to be able to pull my Canvas courses from 5 years ago and to what they are now, they would look a lot different. So don't feel like you have to accomplish Rome in a day. Take your time, keep it simple, and utilize the student view. So anytime before I publish something, I check it before I give it to the students, actually, because you have to publish it, but I will check student view, and we're going to kind of go into this in more detail once I get you into my courses. Some best practices: use a Sandbox course. I have like 5 Sandbox courses that I play around in, and it's exactly that. It's a course where there's no students populated, and you can just build things and make quizzes and create pages and pull things from the Canvas or from the Commons. And a lot of times I will make my coworkers students so they can tell me how it works from the student view and make sure things are working properly. So I definitely recommend it. And I also just want to say best practices, recommendations. You don't have to listen to me. They're just things that I learned during distance learning. I want to share what I found was helpful for me. Just said, check student view before going live. Make sure that the page looks the way I want it to look to the students, and make sure that the links work, and make sure that they're able to do with the page that I want them to be able to do. I highly recommend having minimal navigation for the students in the menu bar, and I'll kind of show you how to make this happen. It's not as pertinent in the high school or the collegiate level, but definitely for elementary or middle school students, having them have less places they have to click, the better. So that just helps keep it simple for them. Notifications, understanding the different notifications so that you can make sure your students have the correct notification settings on is really important. We'll talk about that today. And then use the Commons. I've pulled a lot of things from the Commons. I've shared a lot of things from the Commons. So don't be afraid to beg, borrow, and steal from other educators. All right, I'm gonna get out of this, and we're gonna go into a Canvas course. If I can find it, it just disappeared on me. Are there any questions so far? I guess I should ask my panelists while I get my new computer.
So far, so good, Bailey.
So good? Okay. Perfect. So I'm going to reshare. Okay, so this is one of my Sandbox courses that I've been kind of playing in for distance learning. So this is the teacher view. There's a lot of things going on here, but we're going to kind of break it down real simply. This is my homepage. This is just a page that I've created some buttons on. A few of them are live, a few of them aren't. Like my makeup page is live, and they can take you to other links and help the students navigate. So when I was saying that you want to minimize that menu, that's this menu on the left. And anything with this eyeball with a line through it, that means the students cannot see it, that's exactly what we want. So we only have them being able to see a couple of things over here. The rest of their navigation is on here. And this isn't even a live course, so I actually would do less things over here for them to see. In order to set this up, you go to settings, and you have this navigation toolbox. Anything that's up here in this upper section is what the students can see, and everything down here is hidden from them. And so like if I want to get rid of modules, I will just drag and drop, always hit save. And now modules is gone from the things that they can see. I'm gonna put that back because I will need it later. You can also just rearrange the order. So if I want badges at the top, I can move it up and hit save. And now it's reordered it for me. So that's one of the best things to do, is the less you have there, the better. All right, we are going to go into an actual, my actual course from the spring. And it's a closed course, so there's a lot of things that I can't show you, but I'm just going to show you a couple of the assignments that I did. Just take a second. And you'll see how my two homepages are very different. So like I said, that it's a process, and don't feel like you have to make things incredibly amazing. This I had to create in like 2 days. So it was simple, it worked, it was fine. I have a couple buttons on here for my students. I have my contact information. It looks okay. I don't love it, but it worked just fine. I'm gonna go into a couple of my modules and show you kind of how our whole 9 weeks looked. So each student would see anything that's green. So if it's green, it means it's published. And I have them working through an assignment at a time. And I'm gonna go, because I have a fun one in here, and we're gonna go to week 6. So it'll look a little bit differently because I'm not in student view. We can see all these extra buttons. But so they have the first one is just a video explaining what they're supposed to be doing for the week and their little to-do list checklist. And anything that's underlined is a link. And your colors will probably depend on your district. Usually they're your school colors. My school colors are red and black and white. So that's why everything's in red. So then the students would hit next. They go to their gratitude journal, which I had him pop out to Flipgrid. But in the next assignment, I have a cool way that integrates Flipgrid right into Canvas. So if you're a Flipgrid user, I'm about to get you real excited. I have a rubric attached. So that's one of the awesome features about Canvas is the rubric. They're very easy to make, and they're saved, and you can easily add them to your assignments. And this is my sports skills showcase. So I had students, I actually made a video of myself demonstrating the assignment of how it should look for the students. So they could watch my example. They had all of their information here. And then in the student view, I can't show you because this is a closed course, so it won't look the same. But essentially my Flipgrid is right here in here. So the students don't have to exit out of Canvas. They can just complete their Flipgrid assignment right here and as a teacher, I see their responses right here. And I can even go one step further. I'll show you later how the Speedgrader works. But this is so cool. It just makes navigating so much easier for the students. And then they had some optional fitness activity assignments. Unfortunately, like I said, this is a closed course now, so some of the features are missing, but you can kind of get the idea of some examples of how it was used. So modules are fantastic for having them work through something piece by piece. So we go back to my Sandbox course in my homepage. When you first create a course, whether you create one from scratch or your district, if you're using Canvas, will populate a course for you with your students and their, we call them observers, but their parents or guardians automatically in there for you. You will get a blank course. Let me see, this should be it, unless I forgot to undo it. It will automatically populate as a module. So when you first log in, it'll look like this. So it looks a lot different. And you can set it up however you want. I like having an actual page as my homepage, like with the buttons and everything. I will show you what it looks like. If it's modules, it's going to be very overwhelming for your students if you do it that way. So in order to change your home screen, you click on this choose homepage button. And normally it's going to be this page's front page is going to be blanked out. Actually, let me, I'm going to undo this so you can see how it's done. Get it. No, that's not the right way. That's what I need to do. Okay, so now if I go to the home page and I go choose home page, this is how it should look when you first log in. This will be off. So you have to actually create a page. And it talks about it here. So I'm gonna go, okay, so I need to go make my page. So I made my page. And the one thing you have to do is your 3 dots, say that you want it as your front page. Go back to your home page. And then you can select it. And now I have that page here as my home page for the students when they log in. So how did I create a page? So I'm actually going to create an assignment because it kind of covers the same thing as pages. So if you click on assignments, you'll have it'll just be blank. It'll just have assignments right here with nothing here. So you're going to go to add the little plus sign and give it a name, and I'll just choose rugby. You can give things a due date. If you give them a due date, they will show up on the calendar. And you can also have a fun feature where you get confetti when the students turn it in on time or early. And you could give it a point value right here. If you hit more options, that is going to give you the editor. So in this course, I have the old rich content editor. There's an old and there's a new one. They have the same features, it just looks differently. The new one is much more compact. I have the new and the old right here. So the new one has all the same features, it's just in one line, whereas this is in 2 full lines, but they have all the same features. We'll kind of go over them. So your normal text editing, bold, italics, underline, your text color, your background color. You can clear your formatting. All your different formatting options that everyone is used to are here. This is where you create a table. So most of what I do is in tables because it helps with your alignment. Insert media. This is where you can pull videos, embed video. Like if you have the embed code, you can embed it right here. This would be adding a link, unlinking. If you want to embed an image, you can pull something straight from your course. You can pull from Flickr, or if you have the URL. You can do math, pretty cool. You have Khan Academy, Wikipedia. External tools. This is a cool one because this is where you can put a YouTube video straight in. So I can search for a YouTube video and add it. I can do a Quizlet, if you're familiar with that. I can add Vimeos, I can add Google things, Office 365, a Canvas Studio, or from a Google Drive. So if I want to insert my slides, I can insert them right here and embed them straight in from my Google Drive into my assignment. I have recorder upload media. So this will use the studio feature. So you can record a video or you can upload one that you already have for them, audio or video. Your paragraph alignment, sizing, paragraph, and then this little guy is your accessibility checker. So it will check, oh, no issues. So my students that might need accessibility features will have no problem viewing my page. If you want to make it real fancy and do some HTML code, you have that there. I have a real fun trick to do 100%. And now if I change my size of my page, then my document changes with it. Pretty cool. So you have all your features. So if I wanted to add a, it went below, to go on top, that's okay. If I wanted to add like the title page, so like welcome to Canvas, I could add this, center it, give it a title. If I want to make sure, like maybe I don't want this box here, you would just go to table properties and get rid of the border. So it's dotted. When I save it, you'll see you can't see it anymore. I'll save it in a second. You can add your point value right here. If you want students to, this is an assignment. So if you're in just a page, you'll be able to do all this extra features. But in an assignment, you'll get all this extra assignment information down here. So the big one here is submission type. So the most common is probably going to be online. So, and probably a file upload. So if you want them to upload a file from their Google Drive or something similar to that, you would give them this option to a file upload. If you do text entry, then they have a whole text box where they can just type into, and that might be something you want to do. You want them to write a reflection based on what they read in these slides. You could just give them the option to do text entry and they'll have that box. If you select external tool, this is pretty cool. Our district just added this for us. External tool, you have Google. Assignments, which is basically like your Google Classroom. I just got to give it permission. Oh man, it's gonna be slow. Oh, here we go. And it looks exactly like Google Classroom if you're familiar with it. I can attach my file, change the point value, give it a due date. Where's my thing? There it is, hidden behind my screen share options. And then hit create. Takes a second. And then you have to remember to hit select here. And then you'll see the link in here. We'll look at it in student view in a second. And then you have some really cool options down here. You can give them multiple attempts, limited attempts, however you want it. And then you can assign. So if you wanted to assign to a different section, in this course, I only have one, but if you wanted to do just your period 1 through 5, you could give it to them. If you want to assign just to a specific student, you could give it to them. Or you could give, maybe it's all the same assignment, but different due dates for different sections. You can do that. And you just click and it'll automatically default to 12 a.m. when it's available, when it's due. That would be weird. There we go. And then if you choose an end date of when it's available from, they won't be able to turn anything in past that. They lose the ability to do it. Don't forget to publish. Since they would publish, we'll look at what our page looks like. So I see my slides are embedded. I have my welcome to Canvas, which I wanted at the top, but I just didn't click in the right spot. And then it just takes a second. And then I have this here for the student to submit their work. It won't work in student view to show you what this looks like because I'm already logged in as me. But they would look to them like Google Classroom looks to them. So pretty cool. All right, panelists, are there any questions?
Yeah, we have one. Would it be better to create assignments and modules or through assignments as shown?
So you can do it either way. So it depends on kind of what you're doing. If you're just kind of creating something now for later, you could do it through assignments. Modules is really how I do it. So you would just select modules. If you have no modules here, it'll be right here. If you have modules, you would just click this blue, or I don't know what color it would be. It's red, school course. You can give it a name. So week 2, you have the option to lock it until a certain date. So this is a really cool way to have stuff created already and in your page ready to go, but the students won't be able to access it until the date you want them to have it. So we're going to create it. And then if I want to add an assignment straight to this module, I would hit our plus button. I have that assignment I just created. So maybe that's an assignment that I pulled in from the Commons or another teacher shared with me. I can just pull it straight in and it'll be there. While we're in modules, I'm going to keep going on modules. 3 dots are always an extension and they're all different depending on what you click on. So a lot of times I'll click on and be like, oh, what does that let me do? So I can share this assignment straight to the Commons right from here. I can remove it, I can move it, and I can edit it. I can change the indentation. The indentation doesn't really do anything other than change, oh my gosh, sorry. It doesn't do anything than change the indentation, the way it looks. So I want to share some of the features on how to, I'm gonna add another. I'm gonna add, so say I have an assignment, I don't think I have. I'm gonna add a discussion to this one. So I'm gonna add a discussion and I'm gonna add their badger. So I don't think I have any badges set up anyway, but we'll play with it. So I've got, now I have the option, now that I have multiple things in here, I can add some requirements. So when I click the button, I have some options. Students must complete all of these requirements. So if you want them to have to complete every single thing in the module, then you would select this. If you want them to move in sequential order, you would select this. So maybe you don't really care what order they do it in, but you want them to complete all the tasks, then you would have it unchecked. But I want them to move in order. You also have the option to only complete one. So you would list all of the ones that are in here and you could give them the option that they only have to do one. So it's a way where you could kind of create a choice board for them. You could give them 4 things and they only have to complete one in order to complete the module. So I have my 3 items here and then I have my, what I want them to do. So rugby, that rugby assignment, remember, had slides and then they had to submit some sort of work. So they have to submit the assignment, or you could give them score at least on the assignment. So say I wanted them to get a 10 out of 10 because I think it was a 10. Maybe this one, this is a discussion board. So I want them to contribute to the discussion board. And the submit badge evidence is just that. It should say complete, I think, normally, if I have badges set up. This course doesn't have it right now. So now you'll see these are published, and then I have my menu, what I want them to do, complete all items. And then I just have to make sure that I publish it. And we'll go, now that we have a module created, we'll go look at student view. If I go to the home menu, click on student view, I can see my home screen. Look at all the stuff that students can see. There's way too much information there, but I found my modules page. And so I have the module to work through. Oh, and I have it set to a certain, they can't see it, so they can see the module, but they can't access it until that certain date. So if I change that, and it's just open. Now, students can go to modules and they know they need to complete all the items, and they get a nice little check mark here when they've done it. So again, I won't be able to actually log in because I'm linked as an instructor, so it won't let me, but that's okay. And then I would just hit next, contribute to the discussion board. And I think I have this one set up that you have to, maybe not, I don't know. So we'll just give it, and then the badges. So then they work through their module and they're done. There's not another module. If there was another module there, it would say next. And they could just continue going through. So that's where it's kind of nice to open and close assignments. And there's also like a more complicated way to work through modules, but we don't have time for that. Okay, any more questions on modules or assignments?
Yeah, someone said, can I use one course for different classes, such as 1, 2, 3 periods with different students?
Yes, that's one of the awesome things about it. So let me go into my Sandbox course. So I was playing around with exactly that. So your district will set you up, like if you have 6th grade PE, but you have 5 sections of it, you have one course and all 5 sections in there. So here, even this one that I created this course, I was able to just create my own section. So if you go under settings, you can just add a section. So if I wanted to add a period 3 and a period 4 and a period 5, so that I can play with it and test it, I can. I have no users in there yet, but that's okay. And then so when I go to an assignment, like email my teacher quiz, that's not what I wanted. I'll go this one. When I'm down here in this assign to section, now I'll have the options. So I can say, I want period 1. There's my other periods. There they are. Sometimes it's weird. They're weird like that where they don't show up in one box. Weird. And I can give them different due dates. So if I want my odd periods to be this due date and my evens to be this due date. Let me scroll down. No, it's not gonna show me. Well, it would show me. I'll show you on here. In the calendar, it's gonna show up. So with the calendar feature, anything that has a due date, it's gonna show up on the actual due date for the students. So that's something important to know when you're helping them learn how to use Canvas, that if they see something that's an assignment, which is always gonna be the little paper with the pencil, that's the date that this assignment is due. But if they click on it, they'll be able to see the details of the assignment. Any other questions?
Yeah, someone asked, how would you suggest setting up your courses for the elementary level, grades 1 through 5 and 28 classes?
Oh my gosh. Hopefully they can give you one course, so you don't have to have 25 different Canvas courses in there. If that is the case where you have to have a different course for each of your 25, but you probably have either very similar lessons or like your grades 3, 4, 5, maybe you kind of push out the same things to them, and your littles you give them something else. You use the share feature because that is the best thing to do. So let me find, I'll go back into this one. And so what you would maybe want to do is have something really simple. With the elementaries, probably pictures are going to be more helpful, especially with the youngers. Their reading might not be so great, but if they have like little pictures that are going to help them be able to understand where they need to go, that's going to help. And color code things. But then, so once you create, I'm just going to go into a module. So once I created a module, you could create your Sandbox course with all the content that you need, and just it's how you title things. If I go to my 3 dots, I have this share to commons feature. So you can just send everything into your commons and have everything there and pull it back. But the other thing that I wanted was, why am I not, I'm having a moment. I think it's in here. You would go into your new course. So say this was your first graders. You could go import existing content and pull it from, you could say copy a whole course. And I'm gonna, you can see I have a lot of courses. I'm just gonna grab this one. And then you can identify which content. So if you know there's specific things you want to identify, or maybe you want the whole course, you can do it that way. And then you hit import and it'll ask you to select. So I know I'm gonna go in modules, and I want all the modules that I created to come with me. So I'll select it. This will be fun because this is from a couple of years ago. I'm not sure what it is. It'll take a minute to load. It's not taking very long. Maybe it is. Oh, there we go. So now if I go into my modules, there's a few different ways to share. So now you can see I have those extra modules. What is physical literacy? I have fitness, group fitness, all kinds of stuff now that got shared automatically into that course. Now I can delete, rename things, change things around. But that's probably the easiest way to just create everything kind of in one place and then share it with yourself. If I'm in an actual assignment, that's not what I wanted. Nope, that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Okay, so I'm on an assignment, and I like just this best free throw assignment. If I click on the 3 dots, this is another way to do it, is I can send to another person. So if you co-teach with someone and you're creating something, I can send this to somebody, just start typing in their name. The other option is to copy to. So this would allow me to copy to another course that I have, and I can copy it to a module if I want, or just not. It's optional, and I can decide where I want it. So now if I go into my Sandbox course that I sent it to, that best free throw assignment is now added to that module. So that's another easy way to share just individual. The first way was if you're going to share like a whole module or bigger chunks. And then the second way would be if you're just going to share an assignment here or there. Anything else?
Very quickly, does Canvas have unlimited storage for teachers?
Yes. This is, let's see, my, you can see all the courses I have. I have a ton. Like my spring course, this one. If you go into your files, this is any uploads that you've done. So any pictures, any PDFs, anything like that, they're all going to be in here. And I have not ran out of limits. And I have a lot of things because I'll pull things from the commons and they just come in, and yeah, I've never hit a limit on that. Are there any other questions? We'll shoot for like 10 more minutes. We will talk while I'm in here. We talked about files, so we kind of talked about pages. So quizzes, there is a new and old quizzes. So these are super old, but we'll open this up. So this is the old quizzes view. It's pretty simple. There are a few different, I think because this is a closed course, I can't edit it. You can do various question types. The new quizzes I'm still playing with. I didn't use it in the spring, but I've been playing with it this summer and it's pretty cool. So you can tell in this course, actually I'm going to show you real quick. You actually have to turn it on. So if you go to your settings and you go to feature options, you have some additional things that you can turn on. One is that rich content editor. That's the new, this one, the new one. And then the new quizzes. So my district automatically has the new quizzes on there for me. This is awesome, autosave, because it used to be where if the page shut down on you or something, you lost all your content if you didn't save it. So it was like the old Microsoft Word where you were like constantly clicking save to make sure you didn't lose what you were doing. But now it has the autosave as long as you turn it on. So definitely, whoever asked elementary, I have not played with this elementary theming, but it says elementary friendly theme, font, and limited course navigation. So this might be something you want to turn on and play with. I haven't played with it yet since I do middle school, but that's probably going to help you keep things visually nice and simple for those littles. But here's that new quizzes. So ours is on automatically for us, but yours might be a toggle depending on how your district has it set up. So if I go to quizzes, the quizzes that have they're not filled in, that's the old one. And then the filled in is the new one. So we'll go look at the new one real quick. So you have a title, you have instructions, and you have all these different choices. So I have a multiple choice, I have a multiple check, I have a fill in the blank, I have multiple answer again. And it's cool because, so here's all the categories you have. And then I also have this question bank. So I can pull from a question bank if I want to as well. So there's lots of different categories. The Canvas just did a webinar on the new quizzes, and that goes into a little bit more detail. So that's on their YouTube page if you want to check it out. I highly recommend it. But I love the fill in the blank because you can do you have all these different options of ways you can add. So you can add outcomes to it if that's something you're doing. Did it give me what I wanted? Oh, that's not what I wanted. This would be my question. So like, where am I from? Okay, I'm struggling right now with this. No. I'm gonna go up to this one and edit it so we can see it, because this is the one I did. If it'll, my screen might be not happy with me. Fine. All right, I'm gonna show you the student view of it though. You can see what they view. Good thing I got 100% the first time. So it's nice and pretty versus the other one. It's not as, I think this looks a little nicer. It's a little cleaner. We'll get something wrong here. You can, so what I was trying to show is the first time, I think I chose Mammoth, but the way you have it set up, I can do more, and you basically give it different options that you can, so the students have different options to get it right. You kind of put it in ahead of time. Well, I didn't do as good the second time. So I have this set up. They can take multiple attempts, and they can see how they did. And I'm going to reset, and that'll reset and empty out my test student scores. I need to, before we run out of time, I need to show you all Speedgrader, and I'm going to show you in my course from the spring where I have an assignment. So the Speedgrader feature is one of my favorite things because it's super easy to use and navigate and work through. But I'm going to particularly show you this assignment. So when I'm in an assignment, it's going to be right here. It's also, I should have gone here first. It's on, if I had assignments to grade, they would be right here in my coming up section. You can also access assignments, the Speedgrader, through your gradebook. There's lots of ways. So I'm going to go to this assignment, click on the Speedgrader. And so for my test student, I have no assignments here. If I did, if they had submitted something, their assignment would be here. If I click on view rubric, this is a closed course, but normally I could just click on the category and it would total up the points, and I would have a save button right here. And it would automatically give me the score here. But I will show you, so this is a cool way that Flipgrid integrates into Canvas. I know, up here I can filter through sections. And I was in here last night. I should be able to figure out the student that I was using before. Oh, he probably did his work. Yes, he did. Okay, so his Flipgrid video is right here, so I can watch the video and I can grade it side by side. And then when I'm done with him, right now, because this is a completed course, if it has a check mark next to it, it's already been graded. If it is blank like this, it means they have not submitted any work. And if it has their name highlighted, but it has a little dot next to it, that means they've submitted work and it needs to be graded. So I can just scroll through and I can say, oh, this kid, I need to grade theirs, because it had a little dot next to it. So it's a pretty cool, easy, quick way to grade. I also can filter by whatever section I have. So if I wanted to switch periods, it's very quick and easy to switch in between periods. And then if I'm all done, I also have my arrows, so I can just go student to student by clicking through the arrows. And then if I want to go straight to the gradebook from there, I can. The gradebook is awesome. It has, I can filter by whatever module I want to work in. I can filter by the period. I have all the information I need right here. I can change how I want to see things. I can go by the status. I can identify things with color, which is pretty cool. And I can export the grades, I believe. So if our district had this connected to our SIS, then I could export grades straight into the SIS from here using this export feature. If I want to go to a specific student, and I can look right there on what they did. New Analytics is taking things a little further than we have time for today. The one last thing I want to show you probably would be the people. So your district should automatically populate your students and your observers into your course. So right now I have literally all of my students in here, and you can see I have Bryce, and then he has 2 people that are observing him. So they can see everything that Bryce can see except for the quizzes. So they can't really log in and see the quizzes, but they can see all the assignments. They can see everything the students can see. They can email me through the inbox feature, which is one of the reasons why I love it for virtual learning, because the parents can really be involved and know exactly what's going on. This is also where you would create groups. So if you wanted to do group work, you would do that here. So I kind of already had some groups that I was playing with before they shut my course down. We don't have time to explain how to set that up today, but the Canvas YouTube has a great video on how to do groups. And the last thing I need to show you probably is the inbox. It's one of my favorite features, just why it's great for communicating with parents is, that's not gonna have anybody in it. I don't know if I can actually, oh, I can't show you any, oh, 2015. Let's see if it has anything. Okay, so I have the option to email the students or other teachers, and looks, oh, I must have been a student in this course. Normally there would be a whole list of, I can select individual students or observers, but down here I can include observers. So if I wanted to email Bailey Holt Sandsmark and her parents, I can do that. So anytime I was contacting home through here with a student, I would always include the parents. So the parents knew what I was talking about. They were aware of the communication that was happening, and I can also add video, audio, or I can attach files too. So that's pretty an awesome feature about Canvas for communicating. Oh, I promised you commons. Shoot, I'm running out of time. Commons.
We're okay. Take your time.
I know, but I have to I gotta go coach my softball kids. The Commons is a giant sharing space. So Canvas itself will push out things. You can see here, Apple Education has pushed out some courses. There's 125,000 things in here. So there's a lot of stuff. Here is a K-8 virtual learning template that someone in my district has pushed out. Every subject, here's a module that somebody shared, here's a quiz. So this is a great way to search for things. So if I knew I wanted something on the FIT principle, I could probably, oh, I can't spell. Okay, well, here's a wellness test that somebody posted. I'm trying to think if there's something I've searched before recently in my brain. So yeah, so I type in rugby. Oh, here's a couple modules. Here's some quizzes, a discussion board. I don't know if that's about rugby because it says introduce yourself. But there's lots of things. And then so say I want to look at this. Oh, it's mine. I want to look at my rugby passing skills. So you'll find your own stuff in here. They show you a preview. So you can actually look at it before you do anything with it and say, okay, yeah, I like this. I can import it straight into a course that I already have. I want to just save it for later. I can add it, or I can just copy the link and share it with somebody else. I also have, actually, since we're here, I'm going to go to, because I was just looking up scavenger hunts. and there's some good ones. So if you are using Canvas and you want to have your students learn how to use it, where was the one that was good? I think it's this one, Canvas Scavenger Hunt. So it's a module. So you can look at everything, and you can actually click on the page and get a preview. Oh, they're not going to give you, oh, because that's external content. Let's see. Oh, there we go. They're all external contents. So you can preview it and then add it to your course. I have downloaded a few of these that I'm going to play with and figure out which one I like for my course. There is a way I can see everything that I've shared. So I've shared privately and I've shared publicly. Anything that I've shared shows up in here. So that's kind of nice. I don't know about all districts, but our district, after a few years, they delete our courses. So if there's lessons that you never want to lose, you can just share it here so you don't lose them. I can see everything that I've imported. So I've played with a lot of different things. And actually this HyperDocs templates is really awesome if anyone's interested in that. And I can see everything that I've favorited as well. And when you share something to the comments, it's really self-explanatory. It walks you through each thing. You can either make it a private where only you can see it. You can share it, like in our district anyway, it has where you can share it with only people in your district, or you can share it with everybody. You can state the copyright that you have on it. And same with when you import it. That was pretty easy, where I just click on it. I say I want to import it. I can select the course that I want and I import it. I've successfully started it. And so depending on how much content is in there, it will go really quickly or it might take a while, but I bet it's probably already there. So this was a course, right? So there was an announcement that she had because that wasn't there before. And I think it was, sometimes you have to, I couldn't remember if it was module or what she, oh, here, nope, that's my other course. Now I've uploaded a bunch of stuff in here. Oh, here it is, virtual classroom content, it's in there already. So that's awesome. Let me think, what else? There's so much more in my slides. So I know we are running long here, but my slides have a little bit like talking about some details, and I believe Matt covered a lot of this in his last night. I also have a whole thing on badges, and again, the badges is a little complex. I would need a whole hour to explain it, but you can totally gamify your Canvas course, which is awesome. And Canvas has they have a couple videos on how to use it. And these are just some examples for you to look through. Some stuff we've covered. Trying to think, oh yeah, I didn't talk about this yet, but you can annotate right on an assignment that somebody turned in. The students can also annotate, which is really cool. So you could give them a PDF through an assignment and they need to annotate it and turn it into you. Commons, talked about that. We didn't talk about apps, but if you go into your settings, if you go into the settings for the course, you'd have to do this for each course. You can click on the apps tab and you can, there's tons in here, but like if you wanted to add Flipgrid, this is where you would go. Some of them are a little more intuitive than others on how to add it to it. Flipgrid's pretty easy. Edpuzzle is a little tricky. So if you need help with, if you use Edpuzzle and you want it, you can let me know. It took me a while to figure it out. Let me just check what else? Cover that. Calendar. The kids, so whatever is clicked, same with you or the kids, whatever is clicked with a color is what will show up on the calendar. So that's a nice way for the kids to be like, what? I never saw I had PE homework because it wasn't checked. So that's a good thing to know. The calendar feature, so if you do an event, you can set it up right on whatever day. So we used to do last year we did it. We'll probably have to do it differently this year, but we would go on Monday, an event would show what was assigned for the whole week. And we didn't use the assignment feature because it showed up on the day it was due, and that was really confusing to our kids. But I believe that's what we're doing this year. This is another cool thing. You can actually set up an appointment. So if you wanted to set up Zoom appointments or Meet appointments, you can program it in so the students can click on your calendar, and I might even have it set up. I think I do. So the students can, here it is. I have office hours. If I was in student view, I could be like, ooh, I want to be there. Oh, I see there's 3 slots available. I'm going to hop into that one. I'm in my view, so I don't see it as a student, but they would just select that they want to participate in that. And then it'll end up on their calendar as it won't be gray, it'll be full color, which is a great way to schedule. I can quickly talk about that before we go. The last thing would be those notification settings. So if you go to your actual settings, whatever you have over here is your ways to contact is how you will receive your notifications. So for example, in our district, our students don't have a working email address through the district. So if I wanted to make sure they were going to get their email notifications for announcements or whatever it may be that I posted their grades, I would want them to set up a personal email address, and it's super easy. I would just have them go in, click in it, and add their email address and register it. The other option, if they don't have a personal email, like if they're a little, it could definitely be their parent. Just make sure their parent has a working email and they're getting the notifications, or they can also do a cell phone number if they're like a middle schooler or high schooler and they don't have an email. Although I don't know why a high schooler wouldn't, that would be crazy. But so you would have it there, and then in your notification settings right here, you have a little key to show you. So this is for if you're a student or if you're the teacher. So, and it works on all your courses. So there's a few courses where I'm a student in. These are the notifications for that as well. So I know I'm going to get an email notification if I have something with a due date coming to me. I want to know that. So you can kind of look through here and figure out what you want your students to make sure they're getting notifications on and what you're getting notifications on if you were a student, and select it. The one thing I would say that I had to figure out on my own was the conversations. So I was getting emails every CS. So now when I hover over it, it says new inbox messages. I don't know why they don't just call it inbox, but I was getting emails here in my Canvas and in my school Outlook when a student or a parent emailed me. So I was getting duplicates of everything. So I turned these off, and now they only come to my Canvas email, which is so much nicer. I'm not getting duplicates. That's like a good tip if that's something that you have. And also it might be helpful for the kids. If it's a student, you might want them to have this checked so that the email, so that they're getting, when you email them, it's coming here, because they might not be responsible for this. It will actually go to both places. So that's kind of a good tip. All right, moderators, is there anything else? Is there anything else? There was a lot covered. I'm sorry. Let me pull this up again.
We do have a question from Joyce, so I'm gonna see if she can talk really quickly and give her permission. So she'll have to unmute herself, I think.
So in one of your slides, you had the little, I think it was you, like a little bit emoji doing the, like, was it jump rope?
Jump rope?
It was really cute. How'd you do that?
Okay, so I did it through Snapchat. So it's one of the Snapchat features, and that's like a whole nother, if you Google it, it's out there. You basically you can like type in, like there's a burpee, there's one doing burpees, there's the jump rope one, and you just hold on your camera, you hold it up to like I just think I did a white piece of paper so that you have the white background, and then you just save it as a GIF, and then I uploaded it. And there it is. I know, it's so cute. But I have the slides up again if anyone needs the QR code. And like I said, in the resources page, there's a whole nother slide deck with everything I covered and probably more than I was able to cover from one of my peers in my district, if anyone wants it. And like I said, I know there was a lot here and I probably went really fast because I had a lot to cover, but email me, ask me questions, check out the resources, Google stuff, and take your time and start slow. Are there any other questions, panel?
Okay.
No?
I'm going to talk briefly. So thank you for coming tonight. Wanted to point out that we have another core tomorrow with Mike Schaefer. He's going to be talking about assessments tools. Specifically, I think he's going to go over Nearpod. He's going to go over quizzes, and he's going to go over Kahoot. If he has extra time, we can maybe add a couple things in, but those are the big things. Thank you for coming tonight. And Patty, I'm going to let you take us out.
Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. We appreciate it. This has been a great success, and we hope that we're offering you great resources that can help you in this new virtual world that you're teaching in. Thank you again, and hope to see you tomorrow.